What's up, everybody? Steve Celestio back for another exciting episode of Eagles on the Air. Salesian High School is the school that prepares for life, and I have a person that we're going to interview today for the show that I think we did a pretty good job preparing, if you ask me. We're going to talk about some great stuff today. We're going to talk about his experiences in the school, participating on the basketball team, his return as a committee member, as a board member. We're going to ask him a ton of questions. I don't want to give too much away. I'd like to welcome from the class of 1988, Mr. Sal Torre. Sal, thank you for coming on, man.
Steve, thank you for having me. And before we start, I just want to say thank you for doing this. You do a phenomenal job. It's like you were made to have your own talk show.
You know, let me tell you,
you do a great job. I really enjoy these.
I never looked into it. I don't know if there's any money to be made there. I don't know if anybody's watching at home, you know, like major networks. Yeah, I might be available. I got time. But Sal, you know what? You're a real good friend. You're one of the first guys I met here when I was working in the advancement office years ago. We've stayed in great touch. So I've been dying to get you on the show. So this has been a long time coming.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
And I start off every show with the same question for all the guests. And I know that yours is impactful, it's unique, and I like to know everybody's Salesian story, how you got to know the school, you know, how it prepared you for the next stages of your life, and eventually how you came back here. So without further ado, what is your Salesian story?
I think it's a somewhat unique one. So I grew up in Mount Vernon, New York. And in the 8th grade, my childhood friend, dear friend, Jay Genova, who you know very well, still a good friend of mine today. His mom was a big fan of Salesian High School and of Don Bosco's teachings. So she told me, Jay was always going to Salesian. She told me, you have to put Salesian down. Not knowing where Salesian was, not knowing anything, just on faith, I put Salesian down. I honestly wanted to go to Fordham Prep. I don't know why. But something about Fordham Prep was drawing me there. They put me on a wait list, Steve. And day one of high school, I show up at 148 Main Street, not knowing anything about Salesian High School, and just arrived here. It was like, it was destined to be. So thank you to the Genova family, Mrs. Genova, but that's how I started my journey at Salesian High School. And it was a great 4 years, and it's been a great time being associated with the school ever since.
Well, I have to say that this was Fordham's loss and our gain, if I do say so myself. And so you got to Salesian on that first day. What was your experience like? Did you participate in anything in school? How did you get involved?
Yeah, you know, it's not to sound cliche, but it really does feel like a home and a playground here. Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like for me. And it still does. I love the size of the school. It was not overwhelming for me. Made some great friendships. A lot of friends from the Bronx, Mount Vernon, Yonkers. The whole lower Westchester sort of like was represented at Salesian High School at the time. And the teachers, you felt with the teachers that you had a great rapport with them, right? It wasn't just all business. You could joke around with the teachers. They got to know you, you got to know them. So it was a unique experience for me coming from, you know, I came from a Catholic parochial grammar school as well, but it was different, definitely different. Mm-hmm. And my whole 4 years was like that, where you establish relationships with the faculty and the staff here. To this day, I'm still friends with them.
You know what's funny is one of the reasons why I love doing the podcast. I really do. I'm like so happy way back when they asked me to do it and host it, because it's like a learning experience for me too. And I get the opportunity to speak to so many people that are involved or were involved that we're trying to bring back. The story is so similar. Everyone describes it as that place where they felt welcomed, that they felt at home, that they weren't overwhelmed, that the school cared about them, that they had people that cared about them. And I'm so happy to say that has not changed a bit. It is now 2026. That message, that charism is exactly the same. And I think that's why the school just continues to do so well.
I think you're spot on, Steve. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know that one of your highlights here is, I don't know if you realize it, but you're in a very unique group of Salesian High School, especially Salesian High School alums. We've honored you twice, and we've honored you by putting you into the Athletics Hall of Fame, and you were also awarded with the Alumni Achievement Award at the President's Dinner some years back. Tell me about those two honors that you received, because it is a very, very small group. The Hall of Fame is a small group. The honorees at a president's dinner are a small group. So for you to be inside that Venn diagram is very unique, and you must have done something special. So what's that like?
Well, first of all, I didn't know it was that unique, so thank you. You humbled me again. One, you have to attribute it to my time here at Salesian High School, right? Being the school that it is, welcoming the size, and allowing you to grow as a student and as an athlete are the reasons, that led to those honors, frankly. And it was the teachers around here, the coaches, my teammates, all of that comes into that picture. But to be honored at the golf outing, to be placed in the Hall of Fame, was just a tremendous evening for me, my family. I was thinking back, walking on campus freshman year, I loved basketball, but my passion grew here. And Coach John O'Brien at the time, wonderful man, I must have saw something in me, but gave me the ability at the end of my JV season to practice with the varsity. And that was huge for me. Talk about a confidence boost. And that was the first step in igniting my fire into wanting to really, pursue basketball and do my best at it. So going into the Hall of Fame with the athletes that have come out of Salesian High School, you know this, Steve, there are tremendous athletes that have graduated from here.
Oh, yeah.
So to be part of that group, I get chills just thinking about it. And I had a great time playing here. It was fantastic. The teammates that I had, the competition that we had, a ton of experiences that maybe we'll talk about a little later on, but it was very, very special. And throw the President's Dinner on top of that, when I was asked to come back and have the opportunity to spend a few minutes to talk about my journey and my professional career and how Salesian helped in that. And I had attended President's Dinners prior to that. It's a unique group, you're right. I mean, it's not only alum, but we have honored some very special friends of Salesian High School there.
Sure have.
So
Yep.
it was a special night. Have my family and my friends there, and I'm so grateful to the school.
You've given me a lot to unpack right there, and we're going to circle back and we're going to touch on a bunch of them, but we know where our bread is buttered. Tell me a little bit more about your family. You just mentioned your family coming to the dinners. Let's hear a little bit more about your personal life and what's going on in your family.
Sure. Well, I'm going to touch on my parents and my family currently.
Great.
So it was special to have my parents at both those events that we talked about. My parents sacrificed and worked really hard to pay, even at that time, which was a small tuition amount. So I am forever grateful for them making the sacrifices they made so I could attend Salesian High School. So it was a testament to their hard work and their influence as well. To me, it was like celebrating them as well in those two events. My family currently, I'm happily married to my college sweetheart. I always say it was a classic love story. I was a basketball player in college. She was a cheerleader. And we've known each other since we were 19 years old. So we married. We have 3 children. My daughter, Natalie, who is 23, is pursuing a doctorate in psychology. My son, Michael, who is 19, he is attending Merrimack College in Andover, Massachusetts, and is competing in the sport of golf there. And then I have my 16-year-old, my little guy who's not too little anymore, who is a sophomore in high school, also has become a golfer. So they've played some basketball like their dad, but they fell in love with golf, which I'm okay with.
And if I know you a long time, I don't know where they got that love from, but I have a feeling it had something to do with you.
Yeah, I caught the bug in that game. I caught the bug. I always say I wish someone showed me that sport in Mount Vernon, but I don't think it was happening.
Well, I tell you what, for raising 3 kids, 2 either college age or above, you look like $1 million, Sal. You know I got 2 young kids. I hope I look like you when they're your kids' ages.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh, man. All right. So you also mentioned some hoops. You mentioned basketball. You mentioned that you were good enough to play at the collegiate level. But I've seen some yearbooks. I've seen some banners. I know that your team in particular here at Salesian was very good.
Yeah, we had a great year my senior year. So once Coach John O'Brien retired, a young coach came in by the name of Frank Conroy.
Ooh, Frank Conroy.
Frank Conroy, who's also in the Hall of Fame.
Yes,
right?
he is.
So we were his first varsity team. He was a young coach, and I think he would say if he was here today that we learned a lot from each other. And he's gone on to become a great coach throughout his whole career and a great teacher as well, taught us economics. We struggled the first couple of years. We lost a lot. It was tough. I hated losing. I still hate losing. And we were fortunate. We had 2 transfers that came in. We lacked size. And we had 6'10" and 6'9" transfer to Salesian High School. One of them, who is a dear friend of mine still to this day, Willie Latson, who's also been honored in the Hall of Fame.
Sure. Yep.
Willie went on to play at the collegiate level, but also spent 15 years in Spain playing professionally. And then we had Eric Mobley, who was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks and had a great collegiate career at the University of Pittsburgh. Eric was a tremendous guy, tremendous teammate. Unfortunately passed not too long ago. May God rest his soul. Eric was a beast on the court. And so you enter my senior year, which was 1987-88 season. That was also the year of the three-point shot coming into high school. So we had the three-point shot, and we had 6'9" and 6'10" in the paint.
Yeah, plenty of guys rebounding down below, it sounds.
Plenty of guys making it available for you to shoot the three as well, right? So needless to say, we weren't losing much. We had a great season. I think the highlight for me was winning our Christmas tournament here, which we had lost the previous 2 years. It's not fun losing your own tournament. No. So that was a big highlight. So yeah, it was a great year of basketball. And our team, we still get together. That's what's so special about this team and so special about Salesian. And I hear that through other alum, that the team still gather and reminisce about the good times that they had playing here.
I love it. I love to hear that. I love to hear that because, me in my position now, obviously I wasn't working here when you were here, but I see the students I had. And I'm now of the age where we're starting to honor some of those guys who are great athletes or great people to be honored at the President's Dinner. And it is so rewarding. So I know that Frank Conroy probably felt the same way. Now, you're talking and I'm like racking my brain, remembering you being didn't Frank induct you?
Yes,
he gave
did.
the induction speech?
That's right, he did. And boy, he got me all choked up.
It was a great speech.
Yeah, he really did. He did. He was one of those impactful people in your life.
Yeah,
no question.
And you could tell that the team and you meant probably as much to him as he does to you.
Yeah, no, he has said that actually.
Yes.
He has said it. He's coached some great teams, but we were his first team.
Yes. There's always something
and there's
special
always
about
something
that.
special about it, and it was special on both sides, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you graduated in 1988. I want to put you in that 1998 class.
Maybe I'm 10 years younger, Steve.
You look it. You could fit right in with them. All right. So you're a graduate of 1988. A lot of great men and women have come and gone. Can you name anybody that was? I know we spoke about Coach Conroy, Coach O'Brien. Is there anybody else that stuck out to you as being especially influential in your time here? Maybe a teacher, administrator, anybody like that?
Sure. There are a number of them, and I apologize in advance if I miss some of them. But when I first got on campus my freshman year, there were 2 Salesians that were very impactful. Brother Jerry Megan, who ran the school at the time, and Father John Grinzel. Father John Grinzel, I grew up Catholic. I grew up going to a parochial school. But the Salesians were different. Father John Grinzel would play basketball with us in the courtyard, and he can play, right? Not only was he a great teacher, but he was like one of the guys on the court. So I have fond memories of Father John. Some great teachers here that I had, from Mr. Donovan, who unfortunately just recently passed, science teacher, Ms. Danza. Another, Frank Viteri, Mr. Viteri, great teachers that we formed relationships with. Not only did we learn from them, but you can have a conversation with, right? And even after I graduated, we stayed in touch. And And then Luke Calvelli, who you know very well.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
I am Sicilian. He tried to take the Sicilian dialect out of me in our Italian classes. I think he did an okay job with that. But Lou is a dear friend of mine still to this day. Like, we really connected while we were here.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is pretty special, right? Where you can learn from your teachers, but also establish a relationship where they genuinely care about you.
They genuinely care about you. And the other thing, too, is they genuinely care about Salesian High School.
That's the big time.
You know, you mentioned Lou, and Lou in particular has such a love for this school. And I know he comes back any chance he gets. And I'm happy that you said Miss Danza and Mr. Donovan, because they were still here. They were still working when I came to school, and we had worked together for a bunch of years. So and they were actually influential in my teaching career and me being here and having.
Oh, they were legends here.
Yeah, they really
legends.
were, and having some longevity here. And I was able to watch them and how they interact with kids. I said, well, geez, I want to stay here a long time, and if I can model myself after people like this,
that's interesting,
and how they treat kids, and I'm happy to say a lot of kids come back and they look for me, and I love that.
They do, Steve.
It means
That's why
a lot.
I'm glad you're our alumni director now.
Absolutely. So, all right. So it sounds like you had a great time at Salesian High School. You were prepared, hopefully, for the next levels, next stages of your life. Let's talk a little bit more about what you do professionally,
Sure.
and your day to day.
Sure. So I graduated the College of Mount St. Vincent in Riverdale, New York, which is now the University of Mount St. Vincent. At that time, I got a degree in accounting. I always wanted to get into business and finance in some capacity. Started working in the banking world and realized I rather do finance than accounting, and was introduced to the commercial real estate world. This is going back into the early 90s. And realized I really enjoyed understanding real estate and financing and how it works and banking, and had some great mentors along the way there. So I stayed in banking for, about 13 years or so. I spent some time at Bank of America. And then about 17, 18 years ago, I decided to leave the corporate structure, and I joined a boutique firm in New York City, where I had the ability there to establish my own brokerage business. And what I do daily is that I advise commercial real estate owners and developers. I help them arrange their financings, whether it's development financing or stabilized financing, around the country, all types of commercial real estate projects. So that's been going on for the last 18 years, and knock on wood, it's going well.
I'm glad to hear it. I know that you've been a successful professional. More so, I appreciate the fact that you are always willing to come back and speak to our students, whether you're speaking in a classroom or at career day or whatever it is. So the fact that you have all that love in your heart still for Salesian High School and for the well-being of our boys, that goes above and beyond. So we're very, very thankful for you. And with that, I want to transition a little bit, because you have given back. You've given back in very, very big ways. And one of those ways is you're a big part of these various committees that we have at school, and a current board member. So, your stance on the board, or your position on the board, allows you to get a little bit more involved with us. Yeah. And we're thankful for that. And it's great, to be honest with you, not just because the cameras are on. It's nice knowing that you're a text away and you're an easy guy to talk to, relatable, and once again, with Salesian High School remaining number one. So tell me a little bit about your return to Salesian High School at the board level, at the committee level, and whatnot.
Yeah. My return, I don't think I ever left, Steve. And I'll tell you why I never left. It's funny, I was thinking about this, and after I graduated college, this place was still a playground for me. I came back here, and I got to know Father John Serio. So talk about another influential Salesian who never taught me, but welcomed me as if I was one of his students at the age of 21 when I came knocking on the door and said, "Hey, Father John, can I use the basketball gym and, do a pickup game?" Sure, right? So, and that led to me joining the first golf committee for the golf outing that was run. Luke Calvelli was part of that. Absolutely. Back in the early 90s, mid 90s. So I got involved early on in the committee in the school. I just kept coming back here. And we had a great run with that committee, and then I got busy with life, family, career. And Father John Serio called me about 8 years ago and said, hey, we have a position, at that time was the advisory board at Salesian High School. And he said, I would love to have you on there. I was honored for him to ask me, and I'm so glad he did to this day, because the timing was right. And I've been involved now. It went from advisory board to the Board of Trustees, and I've been involved at the board level now for about 4 or 5 years. And that's led to meeting tremendous people, some of them not even alum. And yeah, to your point, we have formed some great committees. And what I love about it is what I learned at Salesian is happening at these committee and board levels. And what it is about giving back.
Sure.
And I think in the current environment that we're in, where everything is so fast moving nowadays, I think sometimes we forget how important it is to give back. And selfishly, how good it feels to give back, right? So that's what the board and being on the board and being on these committees has provided. It's provided us an opportunity to really help this school in any way it needs help. And I'm proud to be sitting on the board with a lot of these members. Some of them, like I said, not even Salesian alum. They got the Don Bosco fever, I say.
Yeah.
They have committed so much time and resources to making sure that we can do everything we can to ensure another 100 years of success at Salesian High School.
Which we can't be more grateful for, because you look around the building, even you look within the administration, and we have a great administrative team here.
You do.
But we're educators.
Right.
You know, we don't have the expertise in finance, in any of these areas.
Right.
And so you guys come in and offer that experience, that knowledge, that expertise.
Right.
And all it does is benefit this place.
Right. It's a team. It's a team effort.
It absolutely is.
Right. What we have learned from the staff, administration, Father Jim, who works tirelessly on a lot of these committees, and you're part of them as well. You know, the input we get and the input we provide back is what makes it work.
Yeah.
Right. Because we're not educators.
Yeah.
Although we have some on the board who understand the picture, but all those pieces have to come together. And I think it's come together the past couple of years very nicely.
I think we've been doing an awesome job of weaving it all together and keeping the students and the school first.
Right.
And I think your message is loud and clear to all the alumni out there, all the alumni that especially watch the podcast. Come back.
Yeah.
Give.
Yep.
Give back in any way that you possibly can.
Definitely.
And that's going to lead me directly into the final thing I want to speak about today, is our growing Alumni Association, which you and I are a very big part of.
Right.
So the Alumni Association, from class agents to particular events that we'd like to run. Let me just hear a little bit about the Alumni Association and the plans for that.
Sure. So that was also came from not just only the board level, but as I was around the school, it always came up with, Kevin Heppes, who is our, head of advancement office. The topic always came up that we really need to have an alumni association. And it's really amazing. The school that's been around for 100 years and we haven't had an organized alumni association. So we decided to really put our heads down and go to work on this. And thankfully, a number of alum have stepped up. Steve Macias, who heads up the Alumni Association, has done a ton of work. Anthony Ragone, I don't want to mention all the names, but they're Jonathan Newman, Mike Sasso from 71, Bob Angeletti. So there's been a number of alumni that got together and said, hey, let's get this started, right? It's not going to be perfect, but let's get it started. Yes. And what that's led to your point, Steve, is we're getting organized with class agents. We're getting organized with events. And our objective is to really build a solid foundation here over the next year or two, where hopefully we have up-and-coming alumni that can carry the torch forward and continue to grow the association. Because it's important, listen, schools like this, a lot of schools, not just like Salesian High School, the alumni is their lifeline in the future. And it's not only monetarily. Like sometimes people think it's all about giving a check back to the school. Yeah, the check's important. But what's really important is what you touched on, is the experiences that these alumni have had when they were here, coming back, giving it back to the students, or serving on a committee and bringing that expertise that's needed at the school. I'm sure there are a lot of alumni of Salesian High School there that want to participate in this, and we're hoping that we're opening up that door through the association to say, come back, as you said. And, the doors are always open here at Salesian.
And I am absolutely not shocked that the phone calls I've made inviting young men to be a class agent, to be part of the Alumni Association as a class agent, I'm not surprised at all. It's been the easiest phone calls I've made. Right. As soon as guys are offered the opportunity, of course I'm going to do this for you.
You know what's been great, Steve? Sorry to interrupt. Is as I've been around now and around a variety of alum from the 70s to the 2000s, it's amazing how that's the recurring sentiment. What can I do for the school?
Yeah.
Right? It's what it took was someone reaching out.
Yes.
and what's, selfishly, the alum, what's great about being around all these various decades of alumni is you learn from each other. And it's great to hear other people's stories and experiences, right? So it's really a good opportunity to get around what I call the Brotherhood of Salesian High School.
I think it's a great way to get the message out. I think it's a great way to share experiences. Everybody, years ago, people would say, Salesians, it's a great school, but what's the story? And so we started this podcast with this mission. Let's figure out what the Salesian story is. Mm-hmm. That theme is just constant. That is the Salesian story. You come over here, you're going to have a great experience. You're going to feel at home. You're going to feel welcomed. You're going to be challenged academically. Opportunities to participate in various extracurricular activities. And once you're gone, you can't wait to come back. Yep. I think that's the message of the school.
And I'm just going to touch on one point there. The participation and the ability to grow in this school. When I look back, and I think a lot of my classmates would say the same, it gave you the ability to fine-tune your skills as a leader, as to work together with people, teamwork. These are all attributes that don't show up on a diploma. They don't show up in a degree, but are skills that ultimately serve you well in life, no matter what you do. And I think that's the biggest thing I got out of Salesian High School. Obviously, I got an education, got me to college, and but those intangibles were key.
There's so many ways a school can prepare its students, and like you said, sometimes those intangibles are the most important. So, Sal, like I said, it's been a long time coming to get you on the podcast. I thought your perspective was unique. It was, I know you for a long time, and I'm still learning. And so some of the things you said today, I'm like, let's go, So I like to ask some, not all, up to people, depending on who the guest is, to share a couple last words with maybe a student that's in the school or students that are thinking about coming to Salesian High School. So before we go, any parting words to a young man that might be considering Salesian, or young men that are here now?
Take advantage of every opportunity you have in front of you. Whatever the school has to offer, explore. Don't be afraid. Fear, obviously, creates stagnation. Don't let fear stop you from exploring everything the school has to offer. Don't be afraid to raise your hand and ask a teacher or ask an advisor, hey, should I do this? Should I participate in that? The environment here is so conducive for growth because it's not an overwhelming school. It's not an overwhelming campus, right? So that is my advice, is absorb and take everything that the school has to offer and find your lane.
I absolutely love it. That message right there, I think it's been a great episode so far, but that last message right there is going to resound. It can resound forever because that message is not going to change. I love it. Jump in with both feet. Sal, I can't thank you enough for coming on.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me. This is an honor.
Oh,
it really is.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. And like I said, I know we stay in great touch. I look forward to, I value our friendship. And thank you from everybody at Salesian High School. Just thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Steve.
With that being said, everybody, this has been another episode of Eagles on the Air.